We head over to our Sounders, and that's I talk about the unfortunate news in the Seattle sports realm this past weekend, and it continues with the Sounders after we left last week's recording to go to match one. Things went well in match one. The Sounders won leg one of their first round MLS Cup Playoffs matchup against FC Dallas, winning that one 2-0. A nice, strong, complete team win. Outside of a few chances here and maybe there, the Sounders look strong all night long against Dallas, a Dallas team that's come in and really struggled to put goals on the board, struggles in their last 21 regular season matches coming into the playoffs, only having won 4 of them and needing a win on decision day that they got, obviously, to make it into the playoffs. Nuhu plays one of his best games per Brian Schmetzer, at least this is what he said. As a Sounder, he's our player of the match, an 8.7 match rating, one assist. It says 1 goal. I'm like, I remember a Nuhu goal. 1 assist. He assists on Jordan Morris's goal. It's his second of the night. An 83% passing percentage. 2 chances created. Both of them big chances. Um, 9 passes into the final third. 1 clearance, 1 headed clearance, and 2 interceptions. Sorry, I giggled there because I just got the notification that the Angels offered Shohei Ohtani the qualifying author. I'm like, bro, he's not coming back. I highly doubt that. Regardless. Yeah, so Seattle plays really well in leg one, and you think, okay, this is a Dallas team that struggled to get into this spot in the playoffs anyway. You know, you're back at home field advantage, you take care of business. Good. You think a little bit of that same thing in terms of the Dallas struggles going into leg two, but note that the Sounders have struggled historically in the playoffs on the road in Frisco, Texas, where FC Dallas plays. That trend would continue as the Sounders fall in leg two on November 4th by a score of 1-3. Seattle gives up 2 goals relatively early into this one. Jordan Morris gets one back. He's our player of the match. A 7.2 match rating, 1 goal, 92% passing, and 1 shot. But Dallas puts the final nail in the coffin and gets a 3rd goal on the night. And just an overall tough night in Seattle. Not in Seattle, for Seattle. The Sounders don't look like the same team from leg one. The effort level just isn't there. Brian Schmetzer not happy at all with the performance of his team in the post-match. So frustrating to see, tough to see. But now you go back to Seattle and you've got this match in your home building. This interesting first 2 legs. I'm sorry, I don't want my mouth to be anywhere where there you go. Feel free to let me know what you think about the format of these MLS Cup playoffs with the 3 legs here. It's very interesting. As a kid who grew up with baseball, it's a very baseball thing. It's very Americanized, the series, so I don't really understand it. I'm not saying that because they lost. We thought this before. I was talking to several media members before leg one who thought this. So I don't know. It's unique. It's very unique. Not the biggest fan of it. But anyway, yeah, just it's very interesting to see how strong Seattle looked in leg one. They had kept the momentum up from decision day, and how they had been leading into them. They had a 10-game streak of going undefeated. They hadn't lost in that streak. It wasn't all wins, but it wasn't any losses. Draws mixed in there. So unfortunate. I imagine we see some lineup changes when we get to leg 3. Brian Schmetzer didn't confirm that, but he alluded to it in the post-match press conference. I imagine we see Leo Chu slotted out to for Nico Ladero. Leo Chu, someone who we've really enjoyed seeing in his second year not in second year, in this year with the Sounders, really having a breakout season, has been locked up for more or less against FC Dallas. So give Ladero, someone who has, a little bit more of that experience, obviously, especially in the playoffs, to make that impact. I would imagine we see him out there come leg 2. So we'll look into that. But otherwise, the team's healthy, just a disappointing effort. And that's something, if the quality of the other club beats you, it's one thing. But if it's your effort that looks really disappointing and it's very visible, that's frustrating, let alone in the playoffs, right? So, yeah, apologize. Throat's all ripped up, so we got tea for the day. Anyway, So, as I mentioned, 3 legs. Seattle hosts leg 3. That is on Friday, November 10th versus FC Dallas with a 7 p.m. Pacific time kickoff. The winner advances to the second round to play LAFC. If Seattle were to advance, they would host through the entirety uh, of the playoffs until potentially MLS Cup if they get there, obviously, but it depends on what seed they face. Um, in MLS Cup because a bunch of the seeds higher than them in the Supporters Shield standings would host if they were to meet someone there. But because St. Louis City lost in their first round matchup, Seattle is the highest seed. So any team in the West that they're going to play that will have to go through Seattle. They have to get there though, and obviously, you've got to take care of business in this one. So 7 o'clock start time, back at Lumen Field, back in Seattle. If you can make it, if you can afford it, if you got the time, come out and join us. We'll be there. We're looking forward to it. Obviously, not looking forward to having to deal with that, but you know, deal with the stress and the struggles of a win or die playoff match. But we'll see.